Welcome along to Zooming with Driven. Lovely to have you along. This is our webcast, our podcast, all things motoring. Our show brought to you by Honda. Only one price, the best price. We start each episode off with the news. Who would like to kick it off? Dino?
Yes, I would. Just got back from Sydney last weekend, or as every New Zealander says, Sydney.
Yeah.
We don't speak like that. Anyway, MGZS. MG was our host over there to what's called Fully Charged, or in Sydney speak, Fully Charged.
Fully charged.
An electric event that goes around the world, and it's first time in Sydney at the ICC, International Convention Centre in Darling Harbour. Darling Harbour's all being pulled up and torn apart at the moment from stuff that was built in the mid-80s. But the ICC building is a fantastic venue for this fully charged event, and it's probably the closest thing to a motor show.
Okay.
A standard vehicle showroom motor show these days. So MG realised that and latched onto this, nothing but electric cars and some really cool and funky stuff over there. We've run a story online, everything from Carmen Gias and Honda S800s. There's even an RX-8 with an electric conversion.
Wow.
Just all different combis, Type 3, squarebacks, really cool different things, as well as all the standard things that you would expect to see at an electric car show. Including, one of the headlines was the MG stand. They actually had two stands there, revealing its new MG4 as the headline, and also as a secondary headline, the MG ZS EV long range. Now we have the MG ZS EV regular range as our long-term test car at the moment. So the long range adds a bigger battery, more range, and it effectively brings it up to the sort of similar standard of the BYD Atto 3,
Right.
which kind of came in with the market at a higher price, but a bigger battery as well. So the MG has been New Zealand's cheapest electric vehicle, and it's probably one of the biggest selling. I don't think it was
it's definitely up there. I don't think it's the biggest, but it's definitely up at the pointy end.
So the long-range version is a good evolution of the ZS, but the MG4 is an exciting new modular platform for the car. It's actually rear-wheel drive. So the ZS is front-wheel drive, but the MG4 is rear-wheel drive. Wow. So that makes it a little bit more exciting in terms of a platform. Obviously, there's no drive shafts going through the middle. It's all battery. Two batteries. We will get that probably second half of the year, maybe around July sometime we'll start seeing the MG4. In England, the MG4 is actually cheaper than the ZS. Keeping in mind, the ZS is the cheapest EV in New Zealand. We're not sure whether that price advantage will actually continue in New Zealand.
Yep.
We might get higher spec levels, so we're not sure. MG's a little bit non-committal as to whether the MG4 will be the cheapest electric vehicle. We kind of suspect probably not. But the rear-wheel drive platform is fascinating because not only is it rear-wheel drive, but it has the ability to be four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Yeah. Therefore, and not only makes it a little bit of a Tesla rival competitor, being electric and rear-wheel drive, probably sub 70k mark, 60 something is what they're proposing for the top spec model or the medium top spec models, definitely under the cap, but very Tesla rivaling in terms of its chassis. And there's an all-wheel drive version that offers as quick as 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds.
Wow.
So for a little hot hatchback, I mean, it's almost like the Toyota GR Corolla of electric vehicles.
So cool.
So it's quite small.
3.6 to 100, rear-wheel drive, 3.8. Man, what a
four-wheel
package.
drive. Yeah, that's the all-wheel drive version. New Zealand is non-committed for the all-wheel drive version as yet, but it is a headline act in terms of performance.
That seems insane though. You know, as a country that loves their performance vehicles, why wouldn't we just jump all over that performance model?
So it'll be expensive, I would think.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't know, I might be proved wrong, hope I am, but I can't see them doing the MG4 cheaper than the ZS, because the ZS is essentially a conversion of an ICE vehicle, whereas this new 4 is like a completely new vehicle,
So,
like a new platform, it's all high-tech. And
that's the one we saw on driven.co.nz. It's orange, isn't it? Is that
that's the one?
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Looks angry. I mean, it's almost, it's a bit of, there's two opinions. People either love it or hate it.
Well, it's edgy.
We actually did a poll. We did an Instagram poll.
Yeah.
Is it hot or not? And I think we got something like 75% said not. Maybe when people see it, see the performance figures, see how cool it is in person, it might change. Like anything electric, it's polarizing. Get that play on words? Thank you.
How come we didn't talk about Robert Llewellyn, who was at fully charged?
He headed up fully charged, Robert Llewellyn, yes.
Who's Robert Llewellyn?
very famous British actor. He's a huge EV enthusiast.
Okay.
He's famous for being Crichton in Red Dwarf. Are you a Red Dwarf watcher?
No, I'm
I've
not.
lost everybody now.
Yeah,
He's
no.
in Red Dwarf, everybody.
Okay.
Red Dwarf's great.
Quite a get then, I guess,
Yeah.
for the EV festival.
So yeah, good little MG showings and reveals over there. They had the two different spec models of MG4, and we will see those in a couple of months.
Let's just pause for a second to appreciate 3.8 to 100 though. Like genuine supercar performance from what is now coming from a shopping trolley MG. Like it's unbelievable, isn't it, where these cars are taking us?
Yeah, it's great.
Used car reviews. We want them. We want you included in our show, is what we want.
We do want used car reviews, so it's a little bit of a call out to the public, to the readers, to the listeners, to the viewers, whatever. Go on to driven.co.nz. You'll see stories there saying, do you own one of these cars? We want to hear what it's like to own them. Now, the privileged people that we are, we get brand new cars, but we get them for 7-day loans, generally speaking. We sometimes get them longer. You've got a car that's longer term than that. We get some like the MG. But we want to know what it's like to own them for 6 months, 12 months, multiple years. So we put a little bit of a call out for specific makes and models. Generally, we've got just under 100 specific makes and models targeted, but it's not limited to that as well. So everything from all the popular stuff that's there. If you own a car and you want to let us know what it's like to own long term, go onto the website. If your car's not there, you can actually fill it in as well. You can add your entry in there, whether it's a Mini, a RAV4, a McLaren, a Suzuki Ignis, reserved for special.
There's nothing to talk about. They're perfect.
That's right. A BYD Atto 3, an MG, a Honda, a Toyota, RAV4, anything and in between, please let us know. Love to hear a couple of lines of your feedback on both good and bad. So we're really populating it as part of an exciting new evolution of Driven coming in the coming months.
Yeah, nice. Your chance to be Jeremy Clarkson. Now an important anniversary.
Yeah, important anniversary. I popped up this week, actually. It's the 10th anniversary of the McLaren P1, which I find incredible.
Yeah.
Because I think of that as still quite modern and amazing and high tech. But yeah, launched at the Geneva Motor Show in 2013.
Well, I just remember that there was that famous episode. Was it on Top Gear before it was the Grand Tour? I think it was it the first episode of the Grand Tour? I can't remember, but it was the P1, wasn't it, versus the Porsche versus the Ferrari?
You have perfectly segued into what I was just going to talk about, which is it was, of course, part of what we're calling the holy trinity of hybrid supercars.
Yeah.
They all came out around the same time. There was the McLaren, there was the Porsche 918, and there was the LaFerrari.
Yeah.
So the Porsche and the McLaren were both plug-ins. The LaFerrari wasn't, but it was still a hybrid. So the big thing, apart from amazing numbers, and like even by today's standards, 0 to 100 in 2.8 seconds, it's still fast. Like there's not many cars faster than that. But beyond all that, it really showed, all those cars showed that hybrid technology would be really good for really high performance cars, and that was really a huge thing.
Well, it was a game changer because at that point it was just boring and it was about saving the environment. Then all of a sudden we go, hang on, it makes them better.
And it was about combining them with turbocharged engines for McLaren, and you know, the electric stuff fills in all the gaps, you know, where the turbo wasn't doing its thing. So yeah, amazing car. Obviously very limited run car, but really significant. And the other interesting thing is that the man who designed the McLaren P1, Frank Stephenson, who's a very famous car designer, he designed the original BMW Mini, so the one in 2000, you know, the new Gen 1, the original BMW X5, designed the Ferrari 430, and then the McLaren. He has designed a baby seat.
Cool.
Because he says he's always wanted to do things, you know, above and beyond just cars. Yeah. So they're calling it's for a company called Baby Arc. So Frank Stephenson designed as his company. And they're claiming it's the safest, most high-tech car seat in the world. It's all full of carbon fibre. It's got like steel crumple zones and everything, fully connected. So even if you're involved in a small crash, the sensors in the car can tell you via your smartphone app whether the seat is still safe to use.
Okay, amazing.
So it's an amazing piece of kit. The big question is how much is it? I don't know. It's just been announced. It'll be phenomenally expensive.
Not $60 from the warehouse?
It will not be $60. I don't think you'll be able to hire one, but it's a really cool thing. Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, a guy like that, he's in his 60s now. He's had a phenomenal career designing cars, you know, really famous for that. He's decided a car seat is the thing I want to do.
You scared me when you said technical, because installing a car seat is the most complicated job you'll ever do in your life. And if you make it any more technical, it's starting to make me run away.
This thing, it looks like Isofix by the pictures, but because it's all connected and you know, fully sensored up, it will tell you if it's installed correctly as well.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so
that's pretty cool.
It's all fully, it'll just talk to your smartphone, tell you everything you need to know.
Wonderful. Good stuff, guys.
What do you seat your kids in?
Dynos. And only because I have 3 kids under 4 and they all require car seats still. So Dinos are the narrowest car seat. But yeah, they've been absolutely fantastic. And what I love about it is it's taken them through from the very early stages and it'll go right through to a booster seat. So it's not one of those seats you have to go change through the different age stages. And they're super narrow. So we've got them 3 seats across, which is rare in pretty much every car. So they've been brilliant for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the magical Datsun looks fantastic, showcased in green.
Yeah, Datsun 240Z, they're making a bit of a, well, I guess 70s and 80s cars are making a bit of a renaissance in terms of values, even 80s Nissans and Datsuns and everything. And the 240Z is just going insane at the moment on a global market scale as well. To probably take advantage of that, there's an American website called Bring a Trailer. Now, not everybody knows that, as we found out from my Facebook commenters during the week when we posted this story. It's not a US classic car, it's a US classic car site, Bring a Trailer. It was launched in, I think it was 2007.
Okay.
So it's very American. You can understand people don't know about it in New Zealand because it's for American car buyers, classic car buyers. But for Bring a Trailer's it turned in from a news site into an auction site fairly quickly. And for its 100,000th auction, keeping in mind, Bring a Trailer auction the Nissan Pulsar GTIR Nismo that we did a story on a couple of months ago. And that got, I think it was $50,000 US.
Yeah.
So the Datsun 240Z is actually a mildly modified 73 240Z, full of yellow or greeny colour. It's a fantastic colour, stand out. It sold on March 7 for a price of $124,240 US, which is over 200 grand New Zealand, about 203,000 with the current currency at the moment. Lime yellow, mildly modified, so it had a 2.4, i.e. 240Z, 2.4 to 2.7, triple Webers, 5-speed gearbox, LSD, 4-wheel discs, 16-inch Panasport wheels, which kind of suit it perfectly, mini light style, and a little over 200 kilowatts, because we can't speak in horsepower in New Zealand.
No, we don't like
just
horsepower.
for David's sake. Yep. We won't ever mention horsepower again.
Well, I think horsepower when you're talking about cars is still fine, isn't it? I mean,
No.
it's like feet for height. It's still the best measure.
That's not okay either.
Kilowatts is better because it never confuses it with electricity either.
Okay. Yeah. Is that why they've done it? Is that why they've done it? Because it's a universal term, or
Because if you've got an extra 40 to 50 minutes, we can discuss it. But the thing that annoys me about horsepower is, A, we're a metric country anyway, and B, there are lots of different types of horsepower. There's metric horsepower, there's German, there's French, there's blah, 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 blah. There's so many different kilowatts. It's one thing.
Okay.
By the way, these are 16-inch Panasport wheels. So
We don't talk about wheels because that's
That's the
anomaly.
exception.
Yeah, that's the exception. Wheels are okay.
normally these cars go for about 30 to 60K US, but 3 contributing factors. It was the milestone auction, 100,000th auction. It's the website's profile in America, which is huge.
Really? People are paying more just because it's the 100,000th auction? Like, come on.
Bring a trailer's huge.
Yeah, I get that, but you're not
people.
paying. You're not just giving your money away because it's the 100,000th auction.
You're down in history.
Well, 3 factors. It's the website's profile, plus it was the website's own car. They actually own the car. It was their own staff car.
Yeah.
But probably crucially, and hopefully, probably the big key factor is that all proceeds from this sale, including the 5% buyer's fee that they would normally charge, is donated to charity. So it's a feel-good factor about it as well.
You
So
feel bad now.
No, that's the thing I hate about charity, the pay.
So check out our 90-second video. It's on driven.co.nz. Interesting little $200,000 Datsun 240Z.
Thank you, Dean. Lovely stuff. David, let's talk something sensible. And I couldn't think of anyone better to talk about something sensible. Hyundai.
That's, I was going to say that's a thinly veiled insult. It's not even thinly veiled. Just because it's an EV doesn't mean it's sensible.
All right.
So a couple of new Hyundais, well, one out now, one on the way. The first one we'll talk about is the Ioniq 6, which is this awesome, it's called a streamliner design, and it's like this.
Yep.
And it's, people I'm sure have seen pictures and things around. It's on sale in New Zealand now. Inspired, the Ioniq 6 is a sedan, so it's a bit bigger than the Ioniq 5 that we all know. The thing that I love that Hyundai's doing is every new model has its own look. So even though it's based on the same platform as the 5, completely different thing. Like the 5's quite angular, it's quite retro, sort of inspired by the 80s, 70s, 80s pony hatch. This Ioniq 6 is inspired by 1930s streamliner cars, so sort of aviation inspired.
Yeah.
Phenomenal looking thing. They had one in the showroom actually out at Hyundai HQ the other day. We had a look at it. It's just beautiful looking car, really distinctive. And they've managed to get just one model under the 80 grand cap. So you can buy an Ioniq 6, sorry, getting my numbers mixed up, and you'll still get your $8,625 rebate. And it's a beautiful, like, premium looking car. There's two different battery sizes. There's rear wheel drive, all wheel drive. They go way up to well over 100 grand, as you can imagine. I think it's maybe 125 for the top one. Yeah, 125. The interesting thing about it is one of the key things that they publicised was it's got a really amazing range, up to 614 kilometres on a charge, WLTP. And the interesting thing about it is that's not the top one. So if you want the sort of star version of the Ioniq 6, you buy the one in the middle, which has got the big battery and rear wheel drive.
Yeah, wicked.
That's got the biggest range,
Well,
and it's
wonderful.
got smaller wheels.
Yeah.
And I think for the first time, maybe, you know, when a new model comes out, the one in the mid-range is probably the most desirable one, because that's like the big brag about the car. It can do over 600 Ks.
Yeah,
on charge.
okay.
So,
It does look like the CLA Mercedes, though, doesn't it?
oh, yeah, not really. A little bit.
A little bit?
A little
If you
bit.
squint.
If you
If you
squint.
squint.
In the
If it
dark.
goes past really fast, which it might well do.
Yeah.
And the other thing we'll just mention quickly is there is a new Hyundai Kona on the way. So that's not on sale in New Zealand yet. It's still based on the previous platform, so it's basically still like an ICE conversion car. It's not like these Ioniqs, which are based on a brand new EV platform, but that's been completely refreshed. And they did say that they start with this new model, they started with the EV first and worked backwards, so it is all about the EV.
Okay.
And the Kona Electric is a hugely popular car in New Zealand. It's a top seller as well. And this new one, I like that. The styling's kind of a greatest hits of all current Hyundais, isn't it? It's got a little bit of the Ioniq, it's got a little bit of the Tucson. So it looks really cool. They're talking about 490 Ks range from the one with the big battery too, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hyundai, like Toyota, seems to just can't put a foot wrong at the moment, can they? They're doing wonderful
They
stuff.
do good stuff and they're really bold. I like the fact they're just
Yep.
brave. They
Yep.
just do wacky things and they just work.
Yeah, you could also actually argue the same about Land Rover as well. With a lot of their latest models, you know, that change on the Defender has been a successful change as well. That was your segue.
You're doing a clever segue again.
tried
aren't
to,
you?
but you didn't pick it up.
Well, I was speechless. This never happens. And then another interesting, this is a little sidebar. So Bowler is a company that produces racing Defenders. There's even a whole Defender Rally series that they've been running in the UK. So you've probably seen them. They've been featured on Top Gear and Grand Tour and what have you. Just outrageous sort of previous generation Defender racing cars.
So cool, though.
They are really cool.
Yeah.
Just mad. Anyway, they've brought out a new one called the Bowler 100th edition, and it celebrates 100 cars converted by Bowler. So it's actually the 100th racing car
Okay.
that they've made, but they've made it as a road car.
Oh, cool.
So it's for sale. So it's 150 grand. It's a very cool thing. It's obviously based on the old Defender. They had to take an old Defender 90 and then turn it into this road-going race thing.
Yeah.
So the thing that's interesting to me about it is Land Rover actually owns Bowler, have done since 2019. So this is essentially a way, yet again, of buying the old Defender brand new from Land Rover. All the fuss about, you know, Defender's finished, you'll never see it again. All the angst about the brand new Defender. Ineos going off and making its own Defender with the Grenadier, and here you can actually buy a technically brand new old generation Defender again from Land Rover.
So effectively what they've done here at Bowler as a company is they've got a road-going Defender, turned it into a Bowler off-road race car, and then converted it back to a
Made
road
it
car.
road legal.
They've gone full circle on themselves.
So it's a really special. They say it's for sale for £78,000, which is about 150 New Zealand.
And we can get
New Zealand
these?
dollars. There's only one. It's just one car. So you sounded so excited, didn't you?
Well, I mean, when I saw that Ineos the other day, I was like, oh, I like it.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean,
So-
the Bowler looks cool with the white racing wheels. And
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. But it's just weird they're saying, oh, you know, you can buy it. It's £78,000. I'd imagine there'd be a list of potential buyers a mile long for that. People would pay anything to get hold of it.
Totally.
And while on the topic of Defenders, Driven is actually in Dubai at the moment. One of our guys is in Dubai at the moment for the Defender Land Rover Defender 130 V8 model.
Oh, that's
actually
the one you
being
want.
driven today as we record this, so we'll have that on the website very soon, the drive of the V8.
Oh, what a great car that is.
Yes, really, really cool. So that's coming
My
up.
mum's got the P400 in gold. So does that render hers useless now because the V8's come out? And that's the one you want?
Well, the 130, I mean, the V8's available in the whole range of Defender shapes, but the one we're driving in Dubai, I love it when we say we, and I'm here in the studio.
Yeah,
not
me
in
too.
Dubai. It's the 130, so it's the it's not long wheelbase, but it's the long one.
Yeah,
you know, you've
yeah.
probably seen this. It's got all this body extension out the back of it. It looks really different to
Yeah,
the,
okay.
to the other
Yes.
defenders.
All right, Dean, here's your moment to shine. We're talking MX-5s
Not
again.
much, not much.
Okay,
Just
no,
while,
honestly, the podcast is just short
while we're
at
on
this stage.
whatever we got, half an hour. While we're on bowler race cars, we will mention the final Pukekohe race meeting ever. It's obviously Pukekohe circuit after, I think it was 60 years,
Okay.
is being turned into a full-time horse racing track. So
Boring.
it's always been- yeah, for us it's boring.
Horsepower.
Horrible, terrible.
How
Yes.
dare they?
However, March 25, 26 is the final race meeting, Pukekohe, at Speedworks. So if you see any ads come up, Speedworks or the event, get out there. March 20, it's on the Friday as well. So 24, 25, 26 of March. So we're only basically 1 week away till the final Pukekohe event ever.
So what do they do? Are they going to tear up the track? Or does it just sit there redundant?
Probably, I'm going to guess, probably sits there largely redundant because there are areas that need work on them, like the grandstands. Concrete is kind of crumbling and
Yeah, I
fading.
wouldn't sit in there.
No, so there's just different areas, but big event, big plans, including headlined, no doubt, at least in my opinion, by the Mazda Racing Series, of which I'll be a part of in the MX-5s. I don't care it's a subcategory within the RX-8s, it's the MX-5s that people are going to see. So we'll have our driven MX-5 out there as well.
Good luck. Where are you in the championship at the moment, Dino?
Second in the championship, but it probably won't last because there's some quick guys in there. But I have got a few gearbox fixes, and I'm going to do a sponsor plug here to Marshall Transmissions in Hamilton. Pulled the gearbox apart. I'll chuck a couple of photographs on screen at the moment. Found a lot of problems with it. So I've taken possession of it in a state of as is.
Okay.
And I'm finding all these little
We know you're hard on the
throughout.
gearbox. It's fine.
Yeah. God, it's got this gummy oil in it for a start. There's this yellow mucus over the oil. All the gears are burnished and bird, I should say, and the synchro forks were worn.
Yeah, right.
So it had been getting harder. It's still working okay, but it should be much better now. Thanks to Marshall Transmissions,
There
guys.
you go.
So-
Marshall Transmissions, keeping Dean on the road.
Thank you.
Maybe you can lift him from second to first, now that he's got a good gearbox.
That's right.
What's in the print edition this week, guys? You guys been working hard as usual?
Yeah, Ford Rangers this week. Actually, we do a lot. We've been doing a lot with Rangers, and that's only good and proper because it's our AA driven car of the year from last year, and also there's just so many Ranger variants. So we've got the Ranger Wildtrak V6 on the cover, and also a bit of a tow test with the Sport V6 model. There's someone on staff who seems to need to tow a racing car around a lot, so there's another one of those.
This whole show is supporting your MX-5 habit, isn't it?
Pretty
That's
much,
what this
yeah.
is.
And the print issue. Yeah.
That's our podcast for this week. Thank you so much for watching. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and of course, all our links are at driven.co.nz. Thank you for watching. We will be back again next week.